like on your end, but you'll know when we are live. We are live, Rohan. Check.
This shit's fire.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to another live Pin the Gas podcast on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. I hope everybody's days was full of proper mega wheelies, MotoGP racing, and family time, right? Because that's what it's all about. But you guys know the deal and the routine. This episode is sponsored by Next Level Financial. Take total control of your financial future. Get your complimentary financial needs analysis today through Seth Starnes. He's an absolute man. He's so good at what he does. Trust me, you guys don't want to miss out. And Rohan, what I tell everybody, man, I tell them this. Don't buy an off-the-rack suit. It's not going to fit you perfectly, at least for 90% of us, right? There's those 10% of lucky ones out there that can buy an off-the-rack suit and boom, it's perfect, right? But it's slim to none. So I recommend people to go to bisontrack.com, get your full custom suit started, cowhide, kangaroo, perforated, non-perforated, supermoto suits, men's, women's, children, the whole nine. You pick the logos, the patches, whatever you want done on your name, the colors. They make it super simple. It's so easy to do. I got mine in. I got the chest protector right here. I got the gloves. Well, they're in the other room. But yeah, I got my shirts. Listen. bisontrack.com. They're some of the best people you're ever going to meet in your life. Robert and Tasha and their son Carter. That I can't say it enough. bisontrack.com. But ladies and gentlemen, listen, it's an absolute honor today to sit down with my friend and the legend himself, Rohan Sid. Welcome to Pin the Gas, Rohan.
Thanks, Simcoe. Man, I appreciate you having me.
Oh man, listen, the honor is absolutely all mine, brother, man. Believe me, it really is. So we have a lot to talk about, man. I've been excited ever since, I reached out to you and we've been going back and forth ever since. I'm always excited to have all my friends on the podcast, sit down and talk everything we love. Right. And it gives us a chance to bond and everybody get to know you a person too, away from the track as well. So yeah. You ready for a proper mega willy good time? Because I know I am.
Absolutely, man.
Let's get it, dude. Right. So listen, started off, Rohan, from the humble beginnings. How did you get involved in two wheels from the beginning?
Man, it takes me way back about 8-9 years ago, almost 10 years ago now. Yeah, it's a buddy of mine just had a GSXR 600. And every time I pulled up to him, he had a shorty pipe on that 600. It was an 05 600. And he had a second one. So he let me ride it one day. And ever since then, I've just been hooked. So that transitioned into me buying a bike. I got an 05 GSXR 600 a month into me owning this, by the way. I don't know if you're familiar with Georgia. They have something called Blood Mountain over here. It's like these curvy mountains. And a month into me owning it, he took me up there and he goes, listen, at this point, just go slow. It's going to get curvy. And I listened to him. I was like, yeah, whatever. Sure, man. We started going. It didn't feel too curvy. It was like something I could handle. As soon as the first left curve hit, I threw my bike off the cliff, and that was that. So that's how my street riding, sort of series started. And from there, I saw people dragging me on the mountains, and that led me closer to the track. And eventually I got on the track.
So, excuse me. I think it was obviously your friends, just like my friends. They were like, bro, we need to go to the track, right? Because we're going to end up killing ourselves. And they're absolutely right, right? I don't condone none of that. But dude, we all start out there. Rohan, believe me, I did too, right? I grew up in the Navy. So my dad had a motorcycle. He used to take me riding with his friends. I remember sitting on the tank and my hands up there and I'm like, yeah, let's go. Right. It was like the greatest thing ever. And I tried to, as a kid, replicate that through other activities, but nothing quite made me feel the way two wheels made me feel. Right. So every base I went to, I ended up becoming friends with people that had dirt bikes, right? Whether they were older or younger. I'm like, bro, we're brothers from another mother, bro. Let's hang out, and then when I turned 16, man, I bought my first street bike.
That's badass, yeah.
Dumb shit on the street like everybody does, running from the police, riding wheelies, just and then you get your first leather suit. You feel like you're freaking Iron Man, bro. Mask on with the helmet goes on. I'm invincible now, right? Watch me. I'm Rossi. Let's go. Yeah. So, and then, I went to MMI and, of course, I was in Arizona, so I went to Firebird International Raceway. Got matter of fact, I just found it, dude. I was proud of it. I showed it on the podcast the other day. My very first road racing license.
Oh, that's nice.
Back in 1999. I'm looking for all my other ones, but I'm glad
I got to start saving mine because I don't even know if I have my first one. That's amazing to look back on. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. So it just brings back memories. Every time I hold up my hand, I just smile, fall in love, right? Like, yeah, let's go. But yeah, so my friends and on the street, they always we was just goons, right? And then we end up on the track. Obviously, it's the best place ever to be at. Whatever level you are, it's the greatest feeling on earth, right? And a commodity you build with people that you never thought you'd be friends with, right? It's such a small, beautiful circus. It's absolutely amazing. Like me and you can meet at the track, and I'm like, bro, I got the same bike. I really need a rear sprocket. I don't know what I do with mine. You be like, I got you. Here you go. Right. Same thing with me. I'm like, yeah, I got it. Here you go. Tools,
Yeah.
whatever. Extra set of tire warmers. You can use them all weekend or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. It's that beautiful again circus
Isn't it weird how like sometimes people just won't help each other on the streets, but when you come together and like elevate yourselves, you're trying to do something bigger in like a sport or just something for fun, and you meet that community, suddenly you guys are family. It's amazing like that.
and it happens so quick, right? Because as soon
Yeah.
as you meet everybody, it's nothing but open arms, loves, hugs, beers, the whole nine. It's just yeah, it's my life's been a lot happier with two wheels in it, right? So
Sounds like it, man. That's awesome.
absolutely yours too, right? So let's just be
Absolutely. Yeah,
honest. It's
for
it's
sure.
uh it's not the destination, man. It's the journey, right?
Yeah.
I like to just put out nothing but positive energy all the time. I'm a big hugger. I very rarely give high fives. I'm like, nah, bring it on in. It's something about that connection, right? One thing I always tell people all the time is none of us are strangers, just friends that haven't met yet. Okay. Even though there are people, Rohan, that we go through this world, through our journey, we travel in the short time we're here. We meet people and your energies just don't collide or mix at all. You're like, man, there's just something about him or her, or whatever, right? We just don't. But I guarantee if you sat down and had a conversation, you would find at least 4 or 5 things that you guys have in common. And then all that, uh, energy would actually match, right? So that's what I mean when I say that. So yeah, it's
100%. I agree. Energies don't match. Sometimes it's just something that you might not be able to put your finger on at the moment. But yeah.
yeah, 100%. But yeah, man. So going from the street squid like everybody does to yeah, the track, first track day. But what showing up to the track, obviously, like me, my mind was blown, right? Because you take the safety rider course, you got the cool orange t-shirt, which I've been looking for. I know I got it somewhere. I gotta find that orange shirt. Um uh that feeling and then signing up for your first proper race, right? It's like the greatest thing on earth, right? So, what was your feelings like going from your first track day, signing up to your first race with your friends? Because I'm sure you raced with your friends on your first time, and all that shit talking going back and forth. Dude, I'm gonna get you, blah blah blah, no, blah blah blah. That. Tell us.
Well, I mean, I did my first track day, man. I just bought like a beater bike, and so I wasn't really progressing because there was a lot of issues with that bike. Then I swapped to an R6, and that's when I got pretty moderately quick, like novice pace racing. But I ended up starting to coach at that point. Like I made it to advanced first before I even thought about racing, and then at that point I became a coach with Sport Bike Track Time. So I was already doing like some small coaching over there before I did my first race. So my first race was at Road Atlanta, and one of the most grueling tracks, and you don't know that, you just going to the local track that has a race. And yeah, I mean, I'd done the track days there, so I kind of knew it, but the racing experience was just so different, so fast paced. That's the first thing I noticed, is that everything is structured on time. They don't wait. There's a 5 board, a 4 board, and if you miss that third one, you got to go to the back of the line. So everything was fast paced, and I love that. I love having everything on time. They make a call, you can get your radio out and start listening to it, so you don't miss out on those things. At a track day, you can miss out on the call, and you're 5 minutes into the session. So yeah, no, I loved it. It was a great experience. I love competition. I love competition, and I like thrive under pressure, and I love that kind of just. I feel like I grow every time I do that kind of stuff.
Oh, 110%. There's something that we find out new about ourselves every time we either throw a leg over any bike. I don't care what size it is, right? I'm a big advocate for riding small bikes. You learn so much more riding a small bike fast than a fast bike slow, right? You learn the
True.
proper techniques, corner speed, because the small bikes, they ain't got enough ass to get out of the wet paper bag, right? So it's
Right.
all trail braking, corner
Yep.
speed, and carrying it all the way out there and drafting, right?
Yep.
That's where you hone your craft on those things. Then as you progress and move up, once you get that down, then you progress and move up. But you always go back to the smaller bikes because you can always learn 110%, do things better, right? You do it better on them, transition to the bigger bikes, it becomes muscle memory, right? And that's what you want, especially when a situation arises. And yeah,
I mean, that's
hopefully,
just how the race, the best and the best, you've got a lot of kids on here that are super fast kids that have a great future ahead of them. None of them start on a big bike. I mean, you physically can't because you're smaller, but it just doesn't make sense. I've seen guys that get into track days and get 1,000, and some of them do progress, but it's a small percentage compared to the guys that get a smaller bike. So yeah, I always suggest people to get a 6. And some people ask that question about should you get a 400 or a 600. I think if you're above about 145, 150 pounds, you should probably start with a 6, especially because if you want to progress, I feel like you have more people to get a toe off of at a track day. If you're on a 400 and you're already 180 pounds like me, and I'm chasing a guy that's 180 pounds on a 600, I'm never going to catch him if I'm trying to progress. You can. Of course, you got a smaller bike, you gain the skill, but so that's just my opinion.
no,
Now,
yeah, you're good. Learning on a 600 is good. I just think that fundamentally, a 600's got a lot more power than a 400, right? So that intimidating factor of really wringing the neck out of while you're banked over on a 400 will serve you better in a situation than trying to learn the 600. Like what you said, you jump on a 1,000, you get on a track. Yeah, I need the V4R and all this shit, right? You get on there and you freaking pin the gas. You're like, holy shit, I'm Millennium Falcon warp speed, bitch. I can't even hold on, right? And then now you're timid and you're scared. So you're not going to learn anything. You know what I mean? But yeah, you're right. But the good thing is you can buy heavier springs and stuff, right? But yeah. I see exactly where you're coming from.
And my view's probably skewed. I'm 6'2". I started off 210 pounds doing this thing, so
yeah,
I'm down to 180. I'm probably a bit skewed on that view.
Dude, that's awesome, dude. You lost weight. I did too, man. Listen, I weighed 270 pounds. I was in a 40 waist. I'm in a 34 now.
I wasn't fat at 210. I was kind of more muscle.
Me, I was chubby, bro. I was like,
I had to lose it because I'm racing guys that are like Mesa size. I got a buddy named David. Shout out David. He's 145 pounds and he's 5 foot something, and I'm 180 lean. And I still can't. I got a 40-pound difference I can't make up there. So.
It's called late breaking.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. It's called late breaking. We got Keith Kelly in the house. What's up, boys? What's up,
Keith, man? Keith? He's the guy that introduced us, by the way.
He did. Thank you very much, Keith. Absolutely. Absolute honor. Yeah, Keith's awesome. We got to do our part too, Keith. I ain't forgot. But yeah, it's man, honestly, dude, I love the 600. I think it is like that in the 750. Just because the 750's got a little bit more power, but it's nimble like the 600, right? So when you learn this to really ride the 600, the technique of riding, because every bike's different. Okay, the technique, the body position, the way you get the best out of it, and 9 times out of 10, like I asked my buddies, we're on the race weekend, and something that's going their way, and they're all in their head. I'm like, is it you, or is it the bike? Which one's the problem, right? And if it's you need to come over that mental barrier, whatever roadblocks you got in there, instead of focusing on what you can control, focus on what you can control and be happy. A happy rider is a fast and a smooth rider, right?
Yep.
How do you overcome? Because obviously I dug in your background. I already know you're a champion, and we'll definitely we're definitely going to get into that. But Rohan, when you show up and your weekend's just shit, dude, nothing's going your way. The bike has no feeling. I'm like, dude, I get on it and it's like wanting to fold all the time. And, how do you mentally overcome those obstacles and those barriers to push through and turn it around?
I mean, I'm a big, I love the fact when you face challenges, you learn. I've just, my real estate, the business I'm in, we have to solve problems to end up getting a success out of that. Right. So I'm huge on, and we always learn something new. So when things aren't going your way, I mean, it's a mindset thing. You just have to tell yourself, look, there's a reason why it's not going your way. There's a solution to this. If you just ask how, instead of like, why is this happening to me? Why is my day so bad? Why is the weather bad? Why is my tires not? Instead of how can I fix this? And so your angle changes of your approach. So when you ask how, I mean, you just start thinking, what can I do here in this corner? Am I late braking too much? Am I over braking? Is that why I'm not getting out of the corner? So you start asking yourself these questions, and you start looking places. You start looking at your buddy's data. You start looking at what's going on with him. He's real close to me, but So when you think that way, I feel like with that mindset, it kind of goes from being pissed off to like getting answers now. Like the universe has answers out there. You just have to ask the right questions.
And put out that energy.
Yep.
You know, I'm a big guy saying is when you speak it, it's going to happen. Right.
Happen.
It might not happen when you want it to happen. Nothing ever happens when you want it.
Well, see, the funny thing about that is most people don't know what to speak.
No, you're okay. So this is a whole other deep topic. Me and you could definitely deep dive into, man, for sure.
I love this kind of stuff too.
Me too, bro. Me too. But you're right. It's I'm a firm believer in that because if you speak it, and I don't like to use the word I can't, I won't, hope. Right? It's I'm going to, I will do this. You know, I will achieve this. You know, it's you keep speaking that and having that positive energy. It's nothing but love. That's that Mother Nature and all. It's going to give it back to you, right? And again, us as humans, we're so impatient. We want everything right now, right? I mean, you know how easy it is to pick this up and just Uber some food instead of going in there and cooking it because you want to be lazy. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's same kind of deal. So it's the more you speak it, the more positive energy you put out there, man. I think it's and on top of that, Rohan, I'm a firm believer. Like, if you don't truly love yourself, you can't love anybody else. You got to really love and respect yourself in order for you to get respect from everybody because of that energy you put out. Because I'm an energy guy. So I know when I walk in a room or I meet somebody, pretty good at telling their mood or how, not basically, I'm not mind control or, mind control. Yeah. What am I talking about? You know what I'm saying? You feel it, right? Yeah. And I assume you're kind of that way too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
100%. Yeah, it's actually kind of cool. It's kind of like our little superpowers, right? I always call it. Yeah. Well, that's my superpower. I feel the vibes and the energy of the room, and it's I'm the type person that I like to turn somebody's negative energy into a positive energy, no matter what they're going through. Right.
Yeah.
Just keep feeding in that positive. Just keep talking positive, make them.
Well, on that token, I want to say something is like, there's a lot we can't control. And like, I can't control my energy, the other guy's energy or the other person's energy, but I can control how I perceive it, or I can control what I feel. So like, if you just focus on what you can control, what you can control, then you now start to look at what you can improve. But if you focus on what you can't control, you just get more pissed off. You're just going to get angry. Why is that guy not treating me good? Well, so it's just like, control what you can control. I feel that's a good way to start feeling better about yourself energy wise.
Yeah. You're right. Otherwise, you're going to be like a dog chasing its own tail, just banging your head against the wall, right? You're never going to get anywhere that way.
For sure.
But yeah, man, it's good, man. I'm glad you have that outlook. It's absolutely amazing, right? To make people, you see somebody having a bad day and you make them smile. And as soon as you make them smile, you say something funny right off the jump and they just start laughing, right? And all of a sudden that energy's gone. Now it's good energy, and it's like, yeah, you're welcome, buddy. Yeah. Nice chat. We'll do this again sometime, it's yeah, man. So let's get back into motorcycle. So going from your track days to when did you decide, man, you know what? I'm fast enough. And I do want to talk about your coaching, but when did you start saying, you know what, I want to take this to the next level. I want to start racing and see where I can take this.
It was like 2017, 2018, but I was just doing one race or two races here and there. I wasn't fully committed because really finances. I didn't have money at the time like I wanted to splurge in racing and stuff. So, and coming into the race weekend, I wouldn't be able to buy like sets of tires like I wanted to. So sometimes I'd be coming in with takeoffs on the races, and we're budget racers sometimes. And so a lot of times that was the limiting factor of how much I raced. Around 2019, 2018, 2019, I started getting a little more serious. I think 2020 was the year I did a little bit more racing. And I think 2021 I got bumped to expert. So my first expert year was 2022, right? So that's when that's when I was 210 pounds leading into 2021 end. And the biggest factor I noticed to lose the weight, because I was like muscular and stuff, a little more chunky too. But 215 pounds was my max in August of 21. And I remember just getting smoked on the straightaway at Road Atlanta, just absolutely smoked. And then by football field length, by the turn 9, they would have a football field and I would outbreak them to the point where I'm right up on their tail again. So I have this data, I have the GoPro video. I'm looking at this. I'm just feeling all them like, this is nuts. And I know this is because of weight. My bike's good. I had a good bike. So I made it a whole point to just lose 35 pounds. And in 4 months, I lost 35 pounds, just did a lot of cardio and control my diet. And yeah, by 2022, I was a stick, 180 pounds. And right away, I switched bikes too. I was on a ZX6 thanks to Mike Godin from KWS Motorsports. I'm sure you heard of him, the GOAT. So he suggested, he was like, man, why are you going to keep killing yourself? You're going to lose the weight, but you're still going to be on an underpowered bike for your weight. Hop on a ZX6. There are going to be more suspension challenges, but I think you can, if you can get through it, you can make it out fine. So I did it. And, the Cowie is what I'm on, the 636. So.
I love it. The Ninja Turtle power, right? That was my first street bike. I bought a 1996 ZX6R, Firecracker Red. I'll never forget it. My buddy actually owns my bike. He lives in Alexandria, and I'm still trying to get it back from him. Yeah, I am, dude. Man, that was my first bike, dude. I'd love to have her back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, give it back, man.
Yeah, facts. Give it back, Josh. You heard us. Give it back, baby. Donate it to Pin the Gas. I'll pin the gas it all up. Yeah. Yeah, it's when you start racing, it's like that's the logist of our sport is obviously money, right? It's it costs a lot. It really does. But those sacrifices that we're willing to do just to have that happiness that we won't get nowhere else, right? Yeah, it's cool when we watch the race. It's absolutely magnificent when we're at the races, right? It's proper mega because you can hang out with all your friends. But when you yourself is out there on the track, nothing replaces that at all. Yeah. Especially when that helmet goes on, the bike's warmed up, tire warmers getting ready to come off. You're like, yeah, this is where it's at. 100%, and then you come back and you leave and you're tired, you're wore out, you drive at whatever 8 hours home, you got to get up, be at work at 6 a.m., you're dragging ass all the next day, but you still got a smile on your face. You're like, dude, check this out, check this video out, look at this. So it's, yeah, man, nothing like two wheels, Rohan, nothing like two wheels. So tell it, what state do you live in again?
Georgia.
Okay, yeah, you're in Georgia. I'm actually going to the Heron compound next weekend.
Okay, yeah. I've been up there a couple of times. Yeah,
have you? I've never been.
Yeah. It's a fun little track. A couple hours away from me, so I don't go often. But when I did, it was fun for sure.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to go out to get my butt kicked by all the SFL mini kids. It's okay. I'm gonna have fun. That's what it's about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just have fun. Have a good time,
dude. That's why we got into it. Plus, we already said this. It's a feeling that nothing's ever been able to replicate. I don't care what dude. I'm an extremist in a way that if I had a fear of something, I'm like, what's the most extreme way I can overcome this fear, right? And it's hard because you have to dig so deep down inside. I was scared of heights, bro. I wouldn't climb on my freaking roof. I don't care if it was 8 foot off the ground. I'm like, yeah, I ain't getting up there. Forget y'all, right? Like, I'm cool. I'll be down here. Call me what you want. I'm good. I'm safe. I'm on the ground, right? So, skydiving. Jump out of an airplane. Yeah, absolutely. I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now I overcome that barrier. Do I still get nervous when it's high? Absolutely, I do. Right. But when that hurdle pops back up, I'm like, dude, I just jumped out of an airplane, right? Almost 12,000 feet. I can do this.
Yeah.
So it's good. It equivalates to road racing too, because our game is such a mental game.
Yeah.
And you being a rider coach, how did that happen? How did that transition to being a rider coach, and being a rider coach, Rohan? What did that teach you too, as well?
Yeah. So remember I told you I didn't have a lot of money back then. And so a good friend of mine named Bean, shout out Bean, man. He used to pick me up. He was about 30 minutes away. He would drive up with his F-250 with his long trailer and pick me up too. I would sleep in there a lot of the times, and we just became good buddies. And he would just carpool. We would just carpool together. And he was already a coach with Sport Bike Track Time. So he just ended up putting a good word in for me. And that's how I kind of became a coach. So that definitely helped me, especially when I didn't have a lot of money to blow on track riding and stuff. That helped me to get a lot more seat time as well. But it really fulfilled this feeling of wanting to give back too, because I'm a guy that and if you've ever seen the hierarchy of how learning and retention goes, this guy created, it's like, the first level is just listening to something. The second level is reading. And there's levels to this. The more you go down the pyramid, the better you personally understand. So it's like, listening is one way to reading is the next level, then like writing it down after you read it, then being able to coach it back to someone. So that's like the highest level when you can like ultimately retain something, spit it back out for someone else that doesn't know anything about what you're talking about to then understand it. You have now perceived it in such a way you can, manipulate that and understand even better for yourself. So that really fulfilled my whole understanding of track writing too. So when I would have to explain what that guy was doing wrong, it gave me better knowledge of that turn or that sensation. So I love that.
Uh, being a coach, Rohan, do you get the same satisfaction as you do racing or riding yourself? Coaching,
It's
giving
different.
back, helping somebody improve, and seeing that improvement and smile and the happiness that when they take off their helmet, like, yes, let's go. You're like,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, no, it's totally different, I would say, just because coaching is giving your services to someone and being there for someone to help them grow. And racing is more all about, gaining of, for your own benefit
Self.
in a way, or your team or whatever it may be. So it's not so much about giving back. It's kind of being selfish in that moment, but you have to be.
I mean, racing, absolutely, you got to be selfish.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it is. You got to be selfish. If
Yep.
not, you're not gonna make it. You're just not gonna make it. You
Yep.
got to be, and you got to be willing to. I always call it preparing for battle, like Leonidas versus the Persians, right? You're one against whatever 10, 15, 25, however many's out there. Okay, it's you versus all the
Yeah.
Persians. So when that helmet goes down, well, you're my worst enemy.
Yeah.
I just want to rip your head off and shit down your throat. But as soon as we cross that line and we get back in the pits and bikes up on the stand, oh, we're cracking beers. What's for dinner? Let's fire the grill up.
Yeah.
It's that you got to have that mentality, and you got to. I find sometimes it's challenging to turn it off sometimes and turn it on, especially in a heated moment, right? But yeah, that's where that whole mental thing we was talking about. You can't.
Yeah, you have to be able to snap it on. And it's like I have my moment is when I'm like pulling up to the grid after the warm-up lap and you're you're gridded up next to a couple people. When you look at them and you still kind of when I nod my head, it's still the friendliest nod. But the moment they throw the board up a little higher, like that 2-board or whatever, 3-board, 2-board, and you get in that stance, that's my snap in to like it's go time. There's no more friends on this,
Yep.
and if you don't do that, you're gonna let people pass you too easy. I feel like I don't know.
Sorry, I had a problem talking there for a second. But when me and my buddies used to go out there and race, we'd line up on the grid. I'd be beside him, or he'd be right behind me, or whatever. I'd always turn around and be like, "You're done, son. Yeah, let's go." It's that friendly battle, man. It's awesome, man. So we have a couple comments. Stuart, what is going on, Stuart? He says, "What up, Rohan?"
Big Stu, what's going on, man? Yeah, he's a great racer, man. We race together.
Nice. That's awesome. So, and he races, obviously, y'all racing the same
600 class, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff, man. And then Key says, not only coaching, half the grid had to watch Rohan Road Atlanta YouTube videos because he's always posting great commentary and track tutorials.
Well, I appreciate that, Keith. But I just, like I said, I like to give back, man. It's there's something about this. I want to touch on this subject, and it's like, unless you're like in my opinion, this is just my opinion, right? Just one man's opinion. Unless you're in the pro league competing for competition in the pro league, if you're just an amateur, I don't feel like we have much secrets to hide, because the example I give is if you went out to the racetrack and it's just you racing yourself, you paid all this money, paid all this time, spent all this time going out there, and you get on the grid and you realize it's just you. Wouldn't you be kind of annoyed? You'd be like, where's my competition? But yet you don't want them to get faster than you. What's the worst that happens when they get faster than you? You got someone to chase now. So giving back for me has never been like a secret or anything. All my gearing, all my stuff, all my setups, it's all free. And there's a few people like that do that, but I've also seen people that don't give back and feel like, oh, I got to hide this. And it's like, well, truly, what are you hiding? It's something someone else gave you.
Yeah.
And so
I see it as you're also hiding from yourself.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You got to, I've always been like that, because I ask if I'm stuck on something, I'm like, bro, dude, I really need help. Can you please help me with this? And I do the same. I love to give back. I love to help people. That's the same thing what we said earlier, giving back and helping people get through that whatever struggle it is at a track, not sharing those secrets, because we're not Valentino Rossi, we're not Mark Marquez,
Yeah,
right? We're just friends doing what we love to do, and that's it, right? Some of us are faster than the others, but the ones iron sharpens iron, right? So if I keep
100%.
following you and telling you, I'm actually going to get faster too at the same time, just because of that. So yeah, it's I met those people. It I always call it in our beautiful circus, Rohan.
Mhm.
We always have those clowns, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And we love them in their own way, right? Just like we love everybody else. But yeah, it's yeah, there's always those people that don't want to share anything, and it's like all you're doing, I think, is you're hurting yourself, because if you put out that energy, especially at the racetrack, then people feel that around the paddock. They're not going to be willing to help you neither when it
yeah.
comes. I still would, even though I feel the energy, right? But there'd be a lot of people that wouldn't. They'd
I
be
mean,
like,
I've shared setup info to other racers, and they've beaten me in those races.
yeah,
And they've shared
and
setup with me, and I've beaten them. And if you have that camaraderie, you're going to learn, and that competition level is going to rise together.
yep, exactly. Iron sharpens iron, right? I'm gonna make you faster, which is going to translate to making me faster.
Yep.
So let's go,
Yep.
right? And at the end, it's nothing but smiles, loves, and beers, and steak, and potatoes, and yeah, all that good stuff. Uh,
100%. Yep.
Wayne Webb says, "Yo, it's Rohan. He's on TV."
Wayne, man, me and him, we play a little bit of Ride 5 together. He's a
Oh,
good dude.
bro, I got Rod 5. We're gonna have to change. Yeah, I got on the PS5.
Okay.
So
I got the
yeah.
Xbox.
Oh, can we play cross
There's a way.
platform?
Wayne actually knows how to do it.
Wayne, you're gonna have to hook it up. I'll
Yeah,
give
we're gonna hook
Rohan
it up.
my thing. Y'all add me, man. We'll get
Yeah.
in it, dude. Because I love
Yeah,
Ride
yeah.
5. It's such a. It's like, to me, it was great. I'm a game head, right? I always have
Yeah.
been. It's like Gran Turismo motorcycle. Like, do you remember Tor's Trophy?
Yeah, yeah.
That, dude, I love that. Was like really the pre-ride game, right?
Yeah.
Where it was the first motorcycle game that was like Gran Turismo. It was
Yeah.
yeah, man. And then Keith says I'd mention his videos and people would know him at Cheetah.
As Cheetah. Oh,
Oh
as
yeah,
Cheetah.
as Cheetah.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess because my page is Cheetah 740 on YouTube. So yeah, they don't know. I guess I haven't put my name out there as much. So they just come like, "Are you Cheetah?" And I'm like,
Yeah, the Cheetah. That's awesome, man. And then
yeah.
Stewart says Lacroix champion.
He's talking about this drink I'm drinking. Where is it?
Oh, okay,
I
okay,
think that's what
okay.
he's saying. I'm not sure.
Yeah. What was that? Sparkling water?
Yeah, sparkling water. I'm the guy that used to hate this. I tried this before, like 5, 6 years ago, and I was like, "How does anyone drink this?" And now it's funny how age changes you, man. You just start acquiring taste for certain things.
Bro, and the shit you used to like, you're like, dude, this is garbage right now. Like, I
Yeah.
can't believe I used to eat this shit, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it tastes horrible.
I was the same guy that said I used to laugh at people that road biked, and now I'm road biking. It's funny. It's just so
yeah,
funny. Yeah.
it's funny how life comes full circle and
Yep.
different things, right? It's just that good energy putting on pass, right? So it's kind of like I'll use it references how I lost a lot of weight is I obviously started eating healthy, Ryan, but uh I really started listening to what my body was telling me as I was eating foods. So I'd eat
Yeah.
a food if I noticed like I started sneezing or my nose got stopped up or I started feeling a certain way. My body was having a reaction to something inside that food. The trick was trying to figure what it was out, right? Once you figure that
Yeah.
out, you eliminate it. Your body's not
Well,
focusing
the
its
only way to do
energy.
that, the only way to even do that is to stay consistent on the foods you're eating every day. Because if you're constantly switching up the meals and just eating like junk, you don't know what's causing what.
No,
So I
you
think
don't.
I'm pretty sure you had to get consistent on the meals at
Oh,
that
for
point.
sure. I cut out 99.9% of processed food, right?
Yeah.
Fruits, vegetables, cut a lot of pasta out, and I love pasta. And if I did eat pasta, it'd be in the morning time. It wouldn't be in mid-afternoon or at night, right? Because I found that when I started doing that, my body reacted to the pasta different. Like I had more energy where if I ate it midday, of course I tried it. It took a while. This was not a week adventure. It took a hot minute to do this, right? But once I got in the flow, it just started clicking and rolling off. But
Yeah.
of course, exercising too helps people, right? You can't just change your
Right.
diet. By changing your diet only, yes, you will lose some weight, but you're not going to achieve what you want to achieve. So
Yep.
you got to stay on it for sure. Stay motivated. Um, Roar says, making your competition faster makes you faster. Nothing but love in the sport.
100%. There you go, man. That's the way to think.
100%.
That's the
And
way
then
to
Wayne said Torch Trophy was the shit back in 2005. It was, Wayne. You're absolutely right, dude. Matter of fact, I still have that game.
think. Do you?
Dude, I have the original PS2 motorcycle video games, PS3, and PS4. Yeah, man, I got a
That's
stack like
awesome.
this. I'm actually going to bring them home because I'm going to my parents' house to eat tonight for dinner. So I'm going to bring them home and I'll send you guys pictures of it because I want to play that game again so bad, right?
You should probably stream it or something, man. Simco game stream channel or something.
Right, dude. You know, I would love to start doing like product reviews. I think that would be cool too, like motorcycle product
Yeah,
reviews.
you'd be good at it. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
So if anybody's out there want to send me some products, I'll give them back. Just give them to me. I'll review them. It'll be my honest answer, and if I like it, I'll buy it and I'll represent it. And if not, then I won't say it's trash. I'll just tell you what you need to improve on it. Hey, you need to improve this. You need to improve that, right? Because I wouldn't want somebody shitting all over mine. I'd much rather come at the attitude like, hey, this is what I liked about it, but this is what I didn't like about it. But I think if you did these improvements, but hell, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just reviewing it, right? But this is my suggestion how to improve it or whatever. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about coaching and championships, man. It's freaking awesome. That's something I always wanted to do. Dude, I've never even won a race. The best I ever did is seventh in an endurance race out of 35 people. That was the best I ever did, but I was still like, I want to race. I'm like, yes, let's go, you know. Championships, man. When you won your first championship, bro.
So let's clear that up. I didn't win any championships, man. That first place back there is a it's like an AMA race, like a nationals race at the GNFs. So that was won 2 years ago or 1 year ago. I forget when, but that was considered a championship race. I don't know how that works, but it was like the one of its kind or whatever AMA 600 cc Super Sport Championship, and then they gave me that. So not sure how that works, but that was its own thing. Yeah.
I know it says champion underneath it. So guess what? You're a champion, right? That's what it says, dude. Come on, man. Give yourself some more credit, Rohan.
Yeah, man. I feel like a champion. That's for sure. I never think otherwise. So, yeah.
Bro, see, people, this is exactly what I'm talking about. That's the attitude you need to have every day. Your feet touch that ground. I'm a champion.
Yeah, man.
Facts. Love it, dude. I love that, Rohan. That's freaking awesome, man. So let's talk about your job. What do you do for a living, bro?
Yeah, so a few years ago, like about 5 years ago, I started working for a friend of mine in real estate business, doing sales. And a year later, I started my own thing, and we parted ways. You know, it was certain things that happened, but after I parted ways, I started my own small, business, and I buy and sell homes. So basically, I'll get a property under contract. A lot of times, I'll just sell the contract to the end buyer, like an investor, and it's still at a discount. So they're still getting a deal. It's sort of like flipping motorcycles. If you get a deal, someone's going to buy it, right? So it's very similar to that in a way. But there's obviously a lot more problems that come with properties. There's liens, there's encumbrances, there's all sorts of issues that you have to get taken off. And I have some crazy stories, that come with that too. So yeah.
Well, good. We'll have to. I definitely got to hear one of those stories. Is it like so here in the state of Virginia? Like if I flip a bike, exactly what you're talking about, because yeah, I do that, right? That's how I got my first Ducati, flipping bikes, baby, straight up, right? But in Virginia, Rohan, I'm only allowed to do 5 a year in my name,
Yeah,
right? But I could do 5 a year in my wife's name, 5 a year in my son's name, 5 in my dad's name, and mom's.
yeah,
That's how we get around that, right?
yeah.
It's no secret. Is that kind of the same thing with flip in the house industry? Are you limited to a certain amount of houses you could flip like that?
No, there's just certain rules and regulations to it. Just like if you just bought a property and you flipped it within a span of 3 months, you can't directly sell it to an FHA or a VA buyer. There's a seasoning period. So there's subtle things like that you'll learn along the way. But problem solving in this game is key. Like the craziest story I'll share is that we had this one lady who was like a Uber driver downtown. She had 2 houses, Hispanic lady, Mexican, and people aren't going to believe the story if I shared it, but it's sort of crazy. So her uncle was in Mexico, right? I guess in Mexico, cartels own certain things and they demand rent from people. So his farm was in that place where they demanded rent or something. So he owed about, a certain amount of money. So he couldn't pay it at the time. So they kidnapped him. And so they let him call her, who's in America, who's down in Atlanta at the time. And she was just driving taxis. And we reached out to her about she wanted to sell that home. She did, but she said no one can buy this home because it has $1 million lien on it. So this is completely different stories, but she wanted to sell the house to fund the uncle from getting out of the cartel's hands to get back to the farm and pay the debts or whatever. But she couldn't sell what she had because they had $1 million lien. Where did that lien come from? It came from her ex-husband that got deported a few years ago. All his debts got put onto all her properties because at one point he quit claim deeded all the properties that he had to her before he got deported. So everybody was turning away. All the investors were like, "We can't do this because it's a lien on her now." IRS, you can't negotiate an IRS lien. Well, I finally found a lawyer that was like, young lawyer too, was just like, you know what, this is a simple fix. I just had to send a letter, talk to the IRS, let them know that this was a quick claim deed. It's a situation where the guy got deported. It's not her lien. Moment we fixed that $1 million lien was wiped off. I mean, she was able to sell that house to us, and literally at the closing table, she's just hugging me and crying, saying thank you. And like probably a year later, she ended up going back to Mexico. She still stays in touch till today, and she speaks in broken English, but she's just always saying nice stuff and how's your wife and all these things. So it's just cool that, being able to do something that impactful. It's not just, hey, somebody needed to sell their house for some money. They needed to get rid of it's like a movie, right? And it's pretty cool. There's a lot of stories like that, but that's probably my best one.
Dude, that's I would be like, what? You're kidnapped? What are you kidding me? Yeah, that's Rohan, that's a crazy story, bro. Thank you for sharing it.
It stays exciting, man. It's never boring.
But at the end of it, man, you know how good you felt because you made her dreams basically come true, right? You made her years. She'll never forget that, obviously, because you guys still stay in touch. So is she a good cook? Does she ever cook you anything good?
She didn't cook me anything. No. But
that's what I say. You just got to cook for me sometimes. That's it, right? Yeah. So we're good.
Yeah.
I love it. So we got the man himself, dude. Jeff Serving from Chef Eats, bro. What is up, Rohan? I'll tell everybody. Why haven't you guys ordered Chef Eats at? I don't know what everybody's doing right now. Dude, you can easily watch this live on YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn and still get on your cell phone and go to chefeats.com.
Chef Eats is the man. He makes the best foods, the cleanest foods. He's got an athletic side if you want extra low sodium and all these things. He's got a non-athletic side that's still sort of very healthy, actually, and still tastes great. Shout out to him, chefeats.com, I believe, but order from him, man. He's phenomenal. We had a buddy of mine, David, did his Moto America debut last year, and he supplied all the meals for a team of like 10 for 3-4 days straight. I'm talking 2-3 meals a day, and he had it ready. So that's the man. Shout out, Jeff.
Listen, you guys hear me talk about it all the time, and you hear a lot of my friends talk about it all the time. So again, what are you waiting for? Chefeats.com, people. Let's go. Let's get it. But yeah, I love Chef Eats too, man. He's amazing. I love helping out my friends and what they believe in, and their products are really, really good. I want to see them reach whatever level that they want to reach, right? And if that's just as simple as me giving them a shout out and talking to them on my podcast, no problem, right? And I don't even ask for anything. I don't ask nothing from anybody, right? Because I know people they're small businesses and they bust their ass every day, and they already sponsor a bunch of people and give out discount codes and all that, right? So I'd rather just pay the full price to you, right? So you can make that money you need to make to keep that lights on, to keep that Chef Eats going, to keep, 64-degree racing, whatever it is.
And Jeff's just to say this, Jeff's always a guy that gives back, like how we're talking earlier. Yeah. He started off, the first time I met him, he was giving out free breakfast at Jennings. This is before he started his Chef Eats, like racer catering stuff. So he was just already giving forward, and he knew the game. I mean, that's what you got to do. You got to give forward before you even ask for anything. So he did it the right way.
Absolutely. Yeah. And he still is. Again, chefeats.com. He says working an event right now, but had to give a shout out to the cheetah.
My man.
Yeah. Wayne said, I used to play the TT Superbike when I was like 6 years old. I didn't just give away my age, did I? I'm only 20.
Wayne's like 12.
Yeah, I'm only. He said, wait. Oh, that's awesome. He says Rohan is good people, man. Yeah, absolutely.
Shit,
Rohan is.
man.
It was Keith Kelly at the beginning. He actually hooked me when me and Keith did a podcast. Uh, After the podcast, obviously we're friends, but he'll text me be like, "Bro, you got to get this guy on. Bro, you got to get this guy on." Right, and I'm like, "Okay." I don't even question it. Reached out to Rohan and been talking ever since, and here we are. I can't wait for the next one.
Love
Um,
it.
Me too, man. Wayne says consistency is the key to a better life in all aspects, man. Absolutely, it is. We have another legend in the house. His name is Philip Hart.
Oh,
What is
Philip,
up, guys?
fast guy, man. That's a fast guy right there.
Yes, it is. Nothing but love to you, Philip, you and your family and everybody. Um, and of course, everybody watching this. Yeah, Phil is he's absolutely amazing. I
I've
can't
been
wait
keeping
to
my eye on Phil, man. Last couple of races, he's been kind of getting a little faster. I seen him. I was like, is this Philip right here, man? He's blowing up right now.
love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah, he's coming. He's a legend and a champion, just like you, just like everybody that gets out there and puts it all on the line, dude. The love for the sport and that feeling. Like I said, you don't we I couldn't imagine the feeling of a professional road racer that's retired and just don't never ride again and try to avoid that gap, man. That to me, that'd be the most scary thing in the world, right? Like one day, if I woke up, I just couldn't ride motorcycles again.
Yeah,
I don't know what I mean. I'd have the podcast, right? Of course, but it's
yeah.
not the same as throwing your leg over that bike. And
Yeah. I don't know, man. I feel like it's one of those things where you're gonna figure it out. The guy, I mean, these are champions that have endured all sorts of circumstances, bad circumstances that pushed through and found a way, to still fight through them. I mean, they're doing high sides, breaking their collarbone, coming back 2 days later and hopping in a race and still kind of getting top three. These are guys like that you're asking if they're gonna be all right, man. They're gonna find something. They're gonna be just fine. I feel like so this champion mindset is, I feel like, more than physical, it's always the mindset that makes a champion. So
I think you're right on that too. But I also think it helps a lot more if you have kids too. I think
yeah,
kids help. All right. So,
for
are you
sure.
married and have
Yeah,
kids?
no kids yet, but we're thinking about it very soon. We're thinking about it very soon.
Hey, practice is always a good thing, right? You got to practice before you qualify, and you can't wreck, right? So, yeah, you got to stay in the race, Rohan. Let's go. So,
That's hilarious.
oh my God, dude, listen, it's man, having my son is the best thing that's ever happened to me in my life. There's this certain switch, I call it a switch, that when you hold of course, when your wife tells you you're pregnant, you're absolutely freaking ecstatic, right? But when he or she gets here and you hold them and you cut that umbilical cord, man, it's I can't even put into words. I can't even explain it. It is the proper mega most honorable thing you're ever going to feel in your life, right? And that carries and something else switches the way you look at the world, the way you look at yourself. Okay. It makes you want to be a better person. It makes you want to talk better, act better, be more clean, or whatever it is, right? You want to change your whole persona up because they're going to look up to you. And that's all they're going to have is you, right? And that's
Yeah,
you're going to be the role model. So,
yeah,
and then you learn patience for sure. You're gonna learn patience. And you learn it's always easy for me to put people before me. I've always been like that, right? So on that aspect where I'm speaking as, oh, I really need to fix my slipper clutch, but my baby needs diapers, or I just want to get them this toy or whatever. I'm gonna buy that instead of the parts I need for my bike, right? Those sacrifices,
yeah,
those selfless sacrifices.
yeah.
Um, Man, I'm dude, I can't wait, dude. It's gonna change your world, and you're just
I
gonna
mean, I've been seeing it, man. And speaking of sacrifices, father type stuff, want to shout out the Greg family, man. You've had Riston Greg. His dad, Steve Griggs, the real, mastermind behind that whole operation going on. And I mean, seeing it at that level, you got a hat over there.
yeah. He actually gave my freaking son, Reston. I know you're hearing me. Need my I want my shirt, homie. Now I'm just giving you a hard time. Yeah, dude. He gave
Yeah,
dude,
yeah, yep,
absolutely,
yep.
man. Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
I helped him in a couple rounds here at the in part of the pit crew and stuff. And Steve, man, he's my track dad. He's always helping me out, always hooking it up, giving me secrets, stuff that people don't, usually just give away. He's a go-giver too. He's not a go-getter, he's a go-giver. But I just want to say that anytime you see that kind of a setup, you see that father-son duo, that camaraderie, the energy is what takes them to that next. Of course, money is the backing of everything, right? But you don't get there, and the sacrifice he makes. I mean, he drove that F-250 and rig all around the U.S., and Riston just shows up and rides, and of course he's got a job to do too. But the father behind the scene gets very little credit sometimes. So hopefully I can do that for my little one day.
Dude, listen, you will, and you're right. Big shout out to Riston and Steve. I love Riston and Steve, dude. All you guys are my peoples, my mega friends, right? But Steve, dude, every time I see him, he always comes up to me. Even if he sees me before I see him, he's always stopping, gives me a hug, tells me he loves me. Riston always comes out, he gives me the time. We hang out. Me and Riston are Star Wars nerds, right? So we go back and forth.
I heard that one. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So we go back, talk about Star Wars. You should have seen us at Jersey, bro. Continue. We're talking about this and that and the new Star Wars Outlaw game. We've been playing it, beat it, and we're Sabak, which is a game you play within the game, and we're just Star Wars nerds, right?
Let's see this back here, this one right here. This was the endurance N2 Endurance Road Atlanta. Me and Riston were on the same team together. It was just me and him. We did a relay, and it was just practice, and it was so much fun. We ended up winning the relay. We came in third, I think, overall, or third or something like that. So it's pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, they're absolutely amazing. And dude, they always feed me. So thank you guys, Steve, and thank you, Riston, for always feeding me too. Every time I go by there, he's like, dude, are you hungry? I'm like, yeah, I'm at the racetrack. Of course I'm hungry. Miles I done already walked. Yeah, I'm freaking starving, man. Yeah. So it's again, there's nothing like that family, man, because I call you guys my mega friends, but really you're my mega family. Every single one of you guys and girls, kids, everybody, people that I've had on and people that I'm going to have on and people that's always on. Right. It's something that I always honor and cherish in this lifetime because our life's so short, right, Rohan? And I always tell people this too, like every day, whatever you're going through, whatever time of the day is, just stop what you're doing and enjoy the moment. Enjoy it, whatever. Enjoy the suck, embrace it, right? Enjoy the happiness when it happens. Enjoy whatever. And I think if you're having a bad day at work and shit ain't going your way, if you stop and actually enjoy it, it turns your day around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's something I challenge everybody. Enjoy the day, enjoy the moment, because it's something we can't stop right now and pause and rewind like you can a race, right? It's
they say like fear is just a future feeling, right? And then anxious is like something. It's like depression is a thing of the past, and fear is something of the unknown that you don't know what's going to happen. And there's a guy that says fear stands for false evidence appearing real. We all need fear, right? Because that's what keeps us on the bike. And not making dumb mistakes, but too much fear can cripple you. So got to be able to just understand, stay in the present, like you said.
I like chasing the devil.
Yeah.
Right. Like homeboy said in Batman, have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight? I'm like, nah, I chase that motherfucker. I ain't dancing with him. I'm chasing him. But Stuart says, how was it doing endurance this year? And how much did you feel you gained from it?
Yeah, I mean, endurance was awesome, man. But the first stint I did, and I've never done more than like 8 laps at Road Atlanta in a race. And so we did a stint where I did 26, 28 laps or something like that. Because we were doing 45-minute stints or something like that, or an hour. I forget what it was. But yeah, I mean, so what happened was around lap 6 or 5, I got my fastest lap right in that moment. Lap 10, it just started fading away. Lap 15, I was like getting sweat all in my, everything is just, I'm cotton mouth and I can't see anything. And I'm just, everything's jello. But lap 20, I got the second wind, and lap 25, I got my fastest lap of the whole thing. So it's crazy how like mindset and mentality, it really pushes you through. And if you can just stay on it. And the helpful thing was I got a visual. I got, it was Steve Grigg holding up the board saying, you're still in P1, P1, P1. He kept saying that. So it put a lot of pressure on me. I love pressure. So it just made me, just keep pushing and keep going at the steady rate. Because at first, the first 10 laps, you're pushing. 15 laps in, you're like tired. So around lap 20, you got to manage the whole body just giving out on you almost. Your foot's like numb. So you got to find a way to manage the weight around the thighs and the arms and just kind of leverage it along the way. Be able to, what I would do is on the right hand, when I have it on the throttle, on the back straight at Road Atlanta, I would put my thumb over because the arm pump was so bad. So all these things you're just managing and kind of working through it. And that's what made me, it's the best thing for mental push. I mean, nothing better on the bike is mentally get you stronger is endurance racing.
Oh, 100%. I think endurance racing obviously is one of the greatest things ever created, but man, I think it's one of the best bangs for the buck you can get at the track because you
Yeah,
get
yeah,
so much freaking seat time at
yeah.
one time. What I mean by that is exactly what Rohan just said, right? You find that when you want to pull in, you can't feel my hand is numb, and I'm not sure if I'm putting enough brake pressure, or if I'm gonna run in the back of this guy, or my body position, my thighs are fucking goddamn jello, and I can't. It's like you look in those. That's when you learn more about yourself, right? And that mental. Once you come over that mental thing, it's yeah, man, it's the greatest feeling in the world, bro. It really is.
Love that, man.
Philip said, "You gonna join us on a 1,000 anytime soon?"
No, man, I don't know about that. Not anytime soon. I'm not. I bought a ZX10 just to kind of coach on, but I'm not gelling with it really well. I can't get the setup dialed in. But I think it's just truly a setup issue. But it feels great. But I don't think I'm gonna get over that. I love the 600 so much. I still got so much pace to learn on the 600s. So I love just ringing that thing, man. It's just so much fun.
Right? It's I love the old school proper analog motorcycles. You know, it's of course your bike's got a slipper clutch, but does it have an auto blipper in it?
No,
Okay, see, that's what
ZX6s
I'm
don't.
talking about. Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
it's yeah, I miss bikes that don't have any slipper clutches or anything. Like my RC 51 ain't got a slipper clutch, right? It's
Mhm,
it's it's I
mhm.
gotta match the revs with the clutch and dude, old
Yeah.
school, right? It's that mechanical feeling, right? Yeah, it'd be strange. I've ridden one bike with a auto blipper on it. And of course, when you naturally get used to it pretty quick because it's like that. Again, us humans, we always want to find an easy path to everything, right? When they make it easy on the bike, you're just like, bah, 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 bah. You ain't got to do anything. You just, da, 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 da.
Yeah,
Right. This is it. This is basically it,
yeah,
besides, hanging off and hanging on.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I like the old school, man. You got to use everything. It's yeah. The one bike I mean, one thing I've never rode with is a thumb operated rear brake, which I think I'd probably like. Um,
Yeah, I think they are kind of hard to push from the one I felt.
oh,
Maybe it
they
was just the one I felt. I like the if you have an auto blip like bike, I can't do it on mine, but you can get a second brake lever. I feel like that would be pretty cool too. A
yeah.
second rear brake lever, you know what I mean? So
Yeah, yeah.
mm,
Man, nah, not me. I mean, dude, I like it simple, bro. That's why
okay.
when you look at a
Yeah.
MotoGP bike, I'm like, bro, what am I getting ready to freaking fly the Millennium Falcon right here? What's going on with all this, right? I don't even know where to begin. It's
Yeah.
in electronics. They I don't want to say they make it easier, but they do make it easier to ride those beast because every 1,000 is just a freaking monster, right? With all the power that it makes, you need to have a certain amount of electronics to keep knuckleheads like us from going like this. Used to run a 600 and then be like, yeah, there goes Rohan right there. See him? Yeah, there he goes. So yeah, it's yeah, man. I don't envy the people that can ride the 1,000s like that. I'm in awe, and yeah, they're all absolute legends like you and Philip and Rory and all of them, man. I'm not fast by any means. I'm slow, right? And I'm fine with that. I
Well,
just
fast is all relative, man. It's
it
just like,
is. It
it's all
is.
relative, yeah.
It is. Dude, bro, we're at 58 minutes into this, bro. And it felt like we just started this podcast.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, it does. It does.
I told you, man, it's gonna go by so fast, man. It is. That's why I will have you back on. There's so much more we need to deep dive into and a lot to talk about still. Is there any particular subject you want to talk about before we get into the second part of the podcast?
No, no, nothing.
All right,
I think
awesome,
I'm
man.
on your time, man.
I appreciate it, dude. It's an absolute honor to be able to sit down and do this with you, Rohan. And we become friends out of this, and it's more of an honor to be friends than to be able to do this, right? That sounded bad. You guys know what I mean, right? All the friendships that I made by doing this, it means the world to me. That's a
Yeah,
better way to put it. And the main reason why I do this podcast, I tell everybody, of course, is to give back to the sport that's given me so much and most podcasts, they go after, all the high level guys you always see on TV first through six or whatever it is, right? I like to focus on the future of our sports and the back of the grid and go all the way forward, right? Because those people have the struggles just like everybody else, and their story is just as important Bobby or anybody else's, right? They're absolute legends and they're absolute championships. The hours that they put in, the money that they spend, the sacrifices, the fights, the second mortgages, dude, the list goes on and on and on. So I want to give those people the time. Look, here. Speak of the devil, here's my board. Well, cool. I'll check it out when I get out of there. Oh, is that your costume? Don't show my costume.
That's your costume?
Because, no, don't show my costume.
I'm not.
Don't. Yeah, this is Rossi's new costume right here.
That's
Peely
awesome.
Bone.
That's awesome.
No,
All right.
I wasn't going to show you.
I know, but don't.
What's that? His Halloween costume?
Yeah, it's a Halloween costume. We always go down the street. A good buddy of ours, they throw a big Halloween party, so we go down there and I like to scare the kids. I ain't gonna lie, who don't? It's part of having fun for Halloween. I don't scare the little kids. I scare the bigger kids, right? I would never scare a little kid, because then they'll be scared for life. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that guy, is what I'm saying. So I won't. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Yeah, it's the main reason why I do this, Rohan, is for my son Rossi. That way, when I'm not here no more, he can always go back to Spotify, iHeart, YouTube, wherever it is, and see his dad laugh and smile with all his beautiful friends, and have a good time with it. So
That's
besides giving back and all the good stuff that goes along with
And
it.
I wanted like a weapon to go for my banana, but there wasn't any good ones.
So you got another lightsaber. See, I told you we were Star Wars nerd. Let's see the lightsaber real quick.
It's Darth Vader.
Nice.
Oh man.
I
don't know
got
too
it
much
'cause
about
Star
him, but I
Wars
know
is
it's
in
a
the
bad
game.
guy.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing
It
better.
depends on how you look at it, but yes. Listen, Rossi, bro, is that interchangeable with the other lightsaber I got you down here in Jersey?
Yeah.
High five.
They're all. Let
Good.
me unbox it.
Hey, do me a favor. Go in there and go grab that shirt that Riston gave you so I can show everybody on the podcast.
I'll unbox this.
Appreciate you. Yeah, so what I was telling you earlier, I wanted to show you, man. Dude, Riston gave me a sweet ass shirt. I was like, bro, where's my shirt at? Freaking amazing. But so I want to get into the second part of our podcast, which is my favorite, where we get to know Rohan as a person.
Oh yeah, that's the team shirt, man.
Dude, this is his team shirt. Dude, look at this, man.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, and he gave my hat. Here,
That's what we were all wearing in the pits, man. So you got the real official shirt.
Dude, he got the official shirt, bro. Got the Flex Racing. These are not cheap shirts. I looked when I wanted to get my shirts, dude. I looked into these and I was like, yeah, I would buy myself one, but I'm not gonna buy one and give them away because these things right here.
That's that budget we were talking about, man.
Bro, dude, I'm telling you right now, when I seen the prices, I was like, holy shit.
You should see the setup they have, man. The canopies, they got
it.
like 2x20s or something.
Yeah.
Or 10
Bro,
by
it's
20.
freaking awesome. Yep, dude.
Oh wow.
Get your knife. Be
Be careful with that.
Yeah, I don't want you to stab a cat or a dog.
I keep it in here.
Dude, you got a lightsaber. What do you need a knife for? You just cut it open with one of the other lightsabers.
Unbox my lightsabers.
Oh, you got to unbox it. Well, Anakin then have to unbox theirs. You just wait, Rohan. Dude, the kids are freaking amazing, man.
Yeah, man.
So listen, let's start it off. Are you a coffee drinker, bro?
Yeah, I do. I drink some coffee.
Yeah, I do too. I cold and warm, right? Dude, I like go put some batteries in it.
I will.
So
I like it cold though.
I like cold coffee too myself.
Cold and just straight black.
I
You signed up for this.
okay, cool. I love
What's
you.
up?
He said, "What up?
What up?
You want to put the headphones on real quick to say hi?"
I'm reading chat.
No? Yeah.
What's up, chat?
What's up, chat? There's nobody named Chat. This is
No,
the chat. That's where everybody's.
Yeah, you say what's up, chat.
Yeah.
That's the chat.
Yeah. So
That's
can
how
go
you
through
say
it.
hi to the chat.
Look, check it out. You can go through something and pull it up on the screen so everybody can see it.
Steve Senior did it for Steve.
Yeah.
Jr.
Oh,
What was
shoot,
that one?
sorry.
Shout out to Philip Hart.
Shout out to Philip Hart. That's
Yep.
right. You heard my man. Yeah, dude. See,
Steve Senior sure did do it for Steve Jr. Man, Steve Grigg.
Is a legend.
It was George is his father. Man, Steve Grigg
Hey,
was
shut my
also.
door, Bubba. I'm listening. Sorry.
Steve Grigg was a legend in the game too. You know that, right? You know he held the Roebling track record for 9 years.
Bro, I got pictures of. I need to go through my pictures. because I have a picture of me and Steve Grigg when he was racing the Formula F USA when he was on the Multi-Raptor.
That's pretty
So
cool,
yeah,
man.
dude, my motorcycle love of road racing goes back a long time, right? But I'm only 28 years old, people. So just know that, yeah, before I got here from the mothership or wherever, right, I was already watching it. So
Amazing.
oh man. So listen, Rohan, tell us something we don't know about you at all.
Something you don't know about me. I mean, I was into Muay Thai back in the day. Love mixed martial arts, love boxing. I did boxing last year for a little bit. Something you don't know. I mean, that's probably it. I mean, there's probably other things, but I can't think of anything on the spot.
Dude, Muay Thai is awesome. Of course, Tony Jaa was my dude, man. I wonder whatever happened to Tony Jaa, right? And
Yeah.
he showed us the whole the Bak. I forget. So my cousin went to Thailand and married a Thai woman. She had to come back, get the visa, the green card, blah blah blah. They're married now, so she's they go back and forth. And I was telling her, she's like, you know Tony Jaa? I'm like, dude, Tony Jaa's that dude. So we actually watched Bak Warrior and
Yeah.
the other one, and she was like, now this is a Muay Thai that you can't learn here. So the Muay Thai they were showing those movies, they don't teach here in America.
Yeah, that's some traditional Muay Thai. Like, so
Yeah.
my coach was actually he's a superstar legend, like really high level fighter. And over there in Thailand, when you're young, you become a champion real young. When they put you in at 3 years old, 4 years old. He became a champion at a real young age. He went pro at like 6 or 7 and became a pro pretty young. And over there, when you win a championship in the stadium, you adopt the stadium's last name as your last name. So he switched his last name to that. Just that's the level of respect. And they do a whole prayer dance beforehand. And if you ever watch a real Muay Thai fight, you'll see that the guys are doing this sort of ritual dance before the fight starts. That's kind of what you see in Tony Jaa. A lot of the stuff is dance sort of movement and like fights. And the real Muay Thai that they do nowadays is the art of 8 limbs. So punches, kicks, knees, and elbows.
Yeah, that's dude, I like that stuff. I took so here's some. I took Taekwondo back in the day. I almost got my black belt. When we lived in Colorado, me and my dad did it together for 2 years, and man, that's all I did because I'm that hyper focused guy. When something makes me, because I got ADHD, so when I find something that I get hyper focused on,
yeah,
I gravitate towards it, right? Because I'm not so scatterbrained. It makes you feel good to achieve good stuff. So
yeah.
Muay Thai is awesome, dude. What's your worst habit, Rohan?
Staying up late, probably staying up too late. I'm a night owl. Yeah, that's the worst. But I do wake up early if I have to. So it's no big deal. Dang, what's that? Is that the Darth?
This is my favorite.
Darth Vader. That one's your favorite?
Yes.
All right. You got about 30 favorites, but it's cool.
No,
I'll let you.
It's got to show it off, man.
You got, dude, come on, show it off. Yeah, that's one thing about me, man. My wife would come in, she'd be like, okay, it's time to get off. Let's go eat, right? But I love that because it's such a raw interview and this is real life. This is not fake staged, right? This is yeah, man. I love it. So listen, I'm big into audiobooks, bro. I listen to a lot of audiobooks.
Mm-hmm.
I read shop manuals, but I don't read books because if I read a book, I fall asleep. Of course, shop manuals, it's my love, it's my girl, right?
Yeah.
But I listen to a lot of audiobooks. Is that something you do too as well, or?
I do only when I'm driving. I read a lot of books. I got a bookshelf right here. I read a lot. I'm actually reading a book called How to Read a Book. It was written in the 1940s.
Nice.
A guy named Mortimer Atlas. It's a thick read. I mean, it's a long read, but one of the things it says to not fall asleep is before you start reading, ask yourself what you want to get out of the book you're about to read. So don't just open the book up and start reading it, but go with it with intention and purpose. And it just prevents you from falling asleep because you're now looking for things.
Yeah.
If you just walked into Walmart without knowing what you want, you're just going to daze around and probably not buy anything or buy a lot of dumb stuff. So
I look at all the goofy people walking around Walmart. You're like, I can't believe they're wearing that. Check this shit out.
Yeah. So I don't do a lot of audiobooks. I mean, I do. So remember I was saying like when I read, I like to listen to that book too. So I got this app called Scribed. They changed the name. It's called Everand, Everand. It's like $12 a month and you get unlimited audiobooks. So I do that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to text me that, I'm gonna have to look it up because I do the Apple books, right? So I pay for
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do, man. I like that too. Of course, podcast, right? I listen to a lot of different podcasts. What podcasts do you actually listen to?
A lot of sales, real estate related stuff, some motorcycle stuff, some Joe Rogan here and there,
Of
just,
course.
I guess, just whatever I'm feeling at what I want to gain
Yeah.
that day.
Yeah, Joe Rogan's a staple. You got to have Joe Rogan in your playlist,
Yeah.
right? That and I've been listening to Danny Jones. He's another good one. He's kind of like Rogan in a way, but yeah, he's good.
What's his name?
Danny Jones.
Danny Jones. Okay.
Yeah, he's a good one. But I do have an audiobook I do recommend to everybody. I listen to. If there's any motorcycle race out there that's got an audiobook, I got it. I listen to it. They're all absolutely proper mega books. But the one, if anybody asks me if I could just have one,
Yeah.
John Hopkins Leathered.
I'll write it down.
Bro, it'll blow your mind. He leaves it all out on the table. He's all in. He don't hide anything. I mean, it's to the far where he's talking about dude smoking weed and then going to jump on the MotoGP bike and riding, right? And I feel like a lot of autobiographies on even racers or actors or whoever it is, right? They don't always tell the truth. Right, because they're scared of the whatever, right? Where John Hopkins puts all his demons out there in the book, and I was just like, "Holy shit, dude!" Like I was like, "Okay, just one more. You're a night owl, me too, right?" And I got to get up at 4:15 in the morning. And it's like midnight. I'm like, "Dude, I got to listen to 15 more minutes, right? 15 more minutes." It's
Well, a lot of times the higher level you get, like I said, we can't share those secrets because it's team secrets.
Yeah.
You're competing against for money stuff. Sponsors behind you. You can't truly be yourself. So you can't truly be the human that you are because you got to put on this champion image. Otherwise, you could get dropped. So, yeah.
Dude, it's highly recommended. Dude, trust me. You'll be like, dude, Simcoe, this book is amazing. Like, you're welcome, bro. For real. Dude, what's for dinner tonight, bro?
What's for dinner, man? I think some Thai food.
Oh, yeah, you're speaking my language. I love freaking Thai food, and I like hot, spicy food. Do you?
Love it, dude. I'm Indian, man.
Bro,
I come from like a lot of spices, man. We got enslaved for spices. That's where it comes from, man.
Facts. Facts, right? So, dude, do you love to cook? Because I love to cook. I get it.
Not so much. My wife does.
Okay. Dude, you got to have her send me some recipes. Some Indian, because I love Indian food. So I've told this story before, but real quick, I go to Thai food restaurants, and there are some Thai food restaurants you go to when I'm like, what heat scale do you want, 0 to 5? I'm like, give me a 5 or a 6. That special sauce y'all got in the back. And there's times where I can pretty much handle it and still eat my food. That one time I went to, we got this Indian place down here called Nawab's, and it's really good. And I get the garlic naan bread and the tiki masala. And he was like, how spicy do you want it? I said, out of 0 to 5, I wanted an 8. He's like, we can only do a 5. I was like, I know you guys got the homemade special sauce back there that y'all share between y'all that you think is too hot for everybody else. If I got to sign something, sign me up. That's what I want, right? So
I already know what happened, man.
Bro, listen, right, dude, he looks at me crazy. He walks over there to the 2 waitresses, and they just giggle and they disappear.
Yeah.
My food comes out. I'm about 6 bites into it, and I was like, uh-oh. I think I made a terrible mistake, bro.
Yeah, no,
dude, they're giggling and laughing at me, and like it was hard to even finish. I had to eat it though, right? Just to prove my point. Like I can do it. I'm not crying, but I wanted to cry, right? And kept asking for napkins because I had to wipe my face and my nose. Dude,
you probably had heartburn in places you didn't even know you could get it. Dude, I can't handle that spice. I mean, that spice is on a different level. Like I'm talking when you max out. Yeah, they give you they give you a whole different thing, man. It's not not worth it.
Yeah, it went from your normal like 5 right here to like you can't even see my hand. That it was out of here. And the hottest thing that I've ever done, a buddy of mine bought me the Death Nut Challenge. There were 13 million Scovilles, and there were 6 of them, and I ate all 6 of them at one time. That Indian heat wasn't that hot. It was probably about 4 steps below that. It was freaking gnarly.
Yeah, and they just have this red pepper spice. It's not even the crazy stuff that you can really get. My wife's half Filipino, half black. I'm Indian. Our kids are going to be eating some of the best food available, man. So
your food, your house, I already know smells good when the kitchen's going. I'd be like, bro, I'm on my way. If you live close, I'm coming over there for dinner tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, for sure. So let me ask you this, man. If you can invite any three people in the world, dead or alive, they could be MotoGP guys, whoever. What three people are you gonna invite to your track day?
To my track day?
Yep.
Oh man, Marc Marquez for sure. Number one. Dead or alive, man, that's super tough. Marc Marquez. The other two, man, that's so tough. I don't think I can.
Yes, you can.
The other two, I mean,
there's that word. I don't think I can. You need to replace that as I will, and I'm
I was
going
gonna
to.
say I don't think I can in this short amount of time, but yeah, Marc Marquez for sure. I would say, Matt Mladen. I'm a huge fan of Matt Mladen.
Dude, bro. Absolutely.
And his mindset. Huge fan of that.
Yep.
And then I would say probably Wayne Rainey.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are good choices. To speak on Mladen real quick, I met him at Jersey. Of course, I met him a bunch of times at VIR. I love a lot of people and my friends are like, dude, we can't stand Matt Mladen. This and that. He's such a dick. This and that. I seen it the opposite way. I'm like, that man right there is a killer. Like, he don't want to be your friend. He just wants to win, right? That's why he's at the level that he is at. He don't give a shit about anybody in here. He just wants to win, and that's it, right? But you got to everybody channels their own energy in a different way when you reach that level. Some are better dealing with it. Some people can still smile and be friendly. Matt was still at the track, right, when people come up. But when it comes to his competitors, nah, not a freaking chance, dude.
Steve Grigg told me this crazy story about him, like in one of the sessions of qualifying. I think he was like P2 or something, and he came back in and they told, I forget if that's what he told him, but he said, like, you're P2 right now. And he didn't say anything. He just took his helmet strap and tightened it so tight that his face got all red, and he just went out there and smashed it and got P1. So crazy stuff like that. I've heard legendary stories about him, and just a mindset, right? I mean, insane.
Same thing as he reminds me a lot of Mick Doohan. Doohan was the same way back in the day, you know. It's that you need to have that in order to reach that level of legendary status, to have that mindset. Dude, if you had your own private island, what's the one racetrack you'd have on your island?
What's the one racetrack? Damn, these are tough questions. Probably, I mean, I want to say probably, I mean, Barber Motorsports. Let's just start there. Yeah, I'll put Barber on there.
Mine's Cadwell Park.
Okay. Yeah, no, definitely it's an international track, but I'm just going to say Barber for now.
Yeah. If I had to choose a United States one, it is a hard question. I've never been to Barber, but man, it would be a toss-up between, off the top of my head, I love VIR. It's my home track, dude. So it'd either be Virginia International Raceway, Road Atlanta, or Road America.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'll just
what it would be for me, it would be Catalunya. It was a beautiful track. I went there last year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the scenery is amazing.
Yeah, Catalunya. Magello's always been one of my favorite overseas. That and Phillip Island for sure. Besides, of course, Cadwell Park. And my all-time favorite is the Isle of Man TT. That is my one race that I love them all. But it's my
I'm definitely
favorite
not putting that track on an island, man.
I love the TT, man. I think I love it. It's on my bucket list. I will go there. So I'll be that nerd sitting like 3 inches away as they're coming by.
Let's go together, Simcoe. Let me know when you're going. That's one of my bucket list ones too.
We'll make it happen. Trust me, we'll make this happen. Do you have any tattoos?
No.
Okay. Are you a beer or wine guy?
Beer.
Are you a pineapple on pizza guy?
No.
Do you believe it should belong on pizza?
Yeah. I could see it. So some sort of salami or something on it, some pineapples. I could see jalapenos. Yeah. I've had it.
I love pineapple. Funny thing is, like, I will go out and if I don't make my own salsa and my wife like brings Pace home, because Pace is a decent store brand salsa. I mean, it's not bad, right? Don't have a lot of bullshit in it, dude. I'm always adding shit to stuff. Nick's like, you can't do that, so I have to bottle my own little container, and I'm over there with like fresh pineapples. Let me add some fresh mangoes. Ooh, let me add maybe a couple pieces of this avocado. Of course, a fresh habanero, right? Same thing with pickles. I buy a jar of pickles. Fresh habanero, throw it up in there, shake it up, let it sit for a week or two. Guess what? You got some proper mega spicy pickles, and you get to drink the juice. Yeah, man, it's good stuff.
My favorite salsa that's like when you don't touch it, just straight out of the store brand, is the Tostitos restaurant style.
It's
the purple ones.
Yeah,
I like that one. Yep.
It's good. To me, the only thing, it's runny, right? That salsa, it's really runny salsa.
Yeah.
I don't like a real thick salsa, but I don't like a super runny salsa. Kind of like a happy medium. But the flavor of the Tostitos is absolutely really good for sure. So, celebrity crush, Rohan.
Probably Mark Marquez.
I was gonna say Ryan Reynolds.
No, not any actors. Definitely athletes or something like that for me.
That's
Kobe. Kobe would have been my number one for sure.
Kobe, yeah, I miss Kobe, man. I used to be, when Rossi was racing, I was all about Rossi. Didn't give a shit about any other rider. I'm like, nope, it's Rossi. Nope, it's Rossi. It's Rossi. It's Rossi. It's Rossi. Right, as most of the Rossi fans are. Once Rossi retired, it's like my world opened up, and I don't have a favorite MotoGP anymore. I got riders that I like, but I respect them all. Okay, and I cheer for a lot of them. My favorite riders and racers, all my friends that race, right? Because I'd rather support you, Rohan, and buy a shirt or a hat from you than I would Pedro Acosta or Jack Miller that's making millions of dollars or whatever, right? But I still am a MotoGP nerd. Let's just be honest. I'm not gonna say my favorite. The ones that I cheer for the most would be Pedro Acosta, because dude, he's freaking phenomenal. Love Jack Miller and Brad Bender. Marco,
I got a Jack Miller signed painting right here, or picture with the link from his RC. What is it? RC 18 or whatever they.
Yeah,
a chain link from it.
Nice. I got. You see that tank right here? That's Alex Marquez's Mark VDS Moto 2 tank shroud. Right off his race
no
bike.
way!
Yep. Signed by him.
How'd you get that? Phillip Island? Where'd you buy that?
I didn't buy it.
Oh, look, that's the best way.
I did buy this though, and had him sign it this year at the track when I went to MotoGP. So I got to sign Pedro Acosta.
Sick, yeah, that's
right.
Amazing. Rookie year.
And then I got other people to sign it on the back because I didn't have anything else to sign. I was like, you guys can sign it on the back of my Pedro sign. So yeah,
that's bad.
Yeah, I'm still a nerd for sure. It's just hard for me to be a diehard fan over just one specific racer. And I think a lot of that too has to do with me being a podcaster and made so many friends within the sport. Right? Dude, that is awesome. And you got a lightsaber.
Oh, banana with a lightsaber.
Man, that's crazy. That's a good looking costume right there. Can you see out of that thing? Only one eye, huh?
I'm a banana, half skeleton, half banana. Got my brain or intestines. I have no idea. Yeah.
You're gonna kill it, dude.
Yeah, dude. You almost just cut my head off, homie.
Oh man.
Kids, dude, I love Halloween and I love horror flicks, right?
Yeah, he's prepared, yeah.
Bro, yeah, he'll be wearing that. See, the other year, one of my favorite costumes he did was it's all black, and when you turned it on, it was like a stick figure in different colors. So when you do stuff like this, look like a stick figure. It was freaking hilarious. I love that stuff. Let me ask you this, Rohan. What advice would you give your younger self?
Just believe in yourself. Invest in yourself early on, because I didn't initially. Invest in yourself, self-development, educate yourself. The stuff that they don't teach you in school and college. Go read books, go read, leadership, sales. Sales is one of the, Warren Buffett says that's the number one skill he could share to anyone. So sales, if anyone could learn one thing, one skill, it's probably going to be most valuable is going to be sales if you can apply it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very important for sure. Are you and your girl currently binge watching anything on Netflix or Apple TV or anything you can recommend to anybody?
No,
I said no.
nothing. No, she watches a lot of cooking shows and stuff, but
Me too.
yeah, can't even remember the last show we watched.
I get that from my mom, man. I'm YouTube freaking watching. I like Maddie Matheson and Sam the Cooking Guy, and I'm always like, yeah, I'm like, dude. So I'll take somebody's recipe and I'll kind of like add my own twist. I'm like, oh, I think this would be good in it. You know, this is the beauty of cooking, right? You can make it. It's still this dish, but it's kind of like your own unique little twist you put on. Just like when you do your motorcycle, you get a stock bike and you want to put a wrap on it, man. Now it's a unique bike.
It's your own thing.
It's your own thing, man.
She went to the farmer's market and bought like, those $1 spice boxes you can get. She bought $100 worth of that stuff. So she's got a whole spice rack, and she makes stuff where it's so good. I'll ask her, what did you put in this? She'll be like, I put all these things, but she doesn't know how much. She's kind of like sprinkling it in.
That's how I do it. I'm just like, nope, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I'm the same way, man. And I so one thing that I learned, well, I do, this is just me personally. If I do a recipe, and 9 times out of 10, it causes for 4 cups of chicken stock or beef or vegetable stock, and then like 3 cups of water. I just do all beef stock or vegetable stock because that's where your flavor comes. Why you want to water it down? Why you want to dumb it down? Don't dumb it down. Make it more flavorful, right? So
yeah,
it's good stuff. Do you have any pets?
Yeah, got a blue nose pit bull. Love her,
dude. So there's my baby girl sitting right there. Charlie, she's old though, man. She's an old pit. Recently, well, it's been several months. I had to put one down. He was 6. His name was Cruz, dude. He was like the best dog. You're the best girl, right, baby? But man, he's my first male dog, and he was so full of life. So every time you walk in the door, dude, he would hug you. He'd stand up, put his paws here, want you to turn around, and dude, he was. It's hard for me to talk about it, man. I miss him so freaking much. Yeah. Anyway, he ended up being a massive diabetic, which now that they told me and I seen what we went through, I see the signs now. So in the future, I'll notice them. But
yeah.
And I asked the vet, I was like, why? Because she said a lot of the dog food. Well, all the dog food you buy at PetSmart, pet stores like that, it's got all this bad shit in it for dogs.
Yeah.
They don't process that shit the way they're raw meat eaters. They eat rabbits and squirrels and birds or whatever the frick they can catch, they eat, right? So I totally changed her diet after, because it literally was like 2 weeks. He went from being a little overweight with massive diabetes that I had no idea about to we had to put him down because his liver and kidneys were shutting down, and it happened that quick.
Yeah, no, it does. And funny enough, you mentioned rabbits. I just found out rabbits, you're not supposed to feed them carrots. The concept of Bugs Bunny and carrots, that gives them diabetes.
Yep.
So, who would have thought?
Bro, so now it's just brown rice, white rice, just whatever, man. I had peas and carrots and chicken and beef and hamburger meat. But I've noticed her attitude's changed. Even though she's old, she moves around a lot better. She's it's since I changed her whole. I just had to throw that out there, man, because I'm a huge animal lover.
Yeah. Well, it probably came from you changing your own diet and realizing that. So it's good. You got to start from yourself. Self-love is the highest form of discipline.
I said that at the very beginning. If you don't love yourself, you can't love everybody else. So love yourself, people. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, I love you. I'm proud of you, right? Because you deserve it. Whether you believe it or not, you absolutely deserve it, people. So good stuff. Listen, Rohan, this has been absolutely an amazing Proper Mega time. I got one more question before we get off here. I'll let you give all your shout outs. I'll do all the shout outs, and I'll shoot you a text, and we'll definitely schedule part 2 of this. I would like to actually get you and Keith on here at the same time. Are you and one of your other rider buddies that because that's the thing about me, man. I like not just Moto America guys and BSB and all that, track day junkies and track riders, man. I want to do them all, guys and girls. Yeah. So if you know anybody and they want to come on, bro, let's get it done.
For sure.
But my last question for you for tonight is, if you had your own team in Moto America, Rohan, you have your own superbike team, what brand of motorcycle are you going to have, and what are the 2 current riders in Moto America that could be any current riders that you would put on your Superbike team?
Okay, so I would have a BMW probably as the bike, Superbike. But I would need the data from World Superbike. I couldn't do it without it. Right now, there's other brands looking pretty strong in Moto America too. So I want the BMW with the data from there. And the two riders, number one, hands down, is Matthew Schultz. Want him. Just my mentality, the mindset. I've talked to him a few times. Just super amazing rider. And then Heron, the wild boy. You know, gotta have Heron on there. Yeah, I love both of them. Just the different attitudes they're gonna bring. So.
Oh yeah, it's yeah, great riders too, man. Absolutely. And dude, if you had the Alpine, whatever BMW, yeah, dude, you're gonna have. Yeah, you will. Keith says, I'm down. Absolutely, Keith. I tell you what, me and Rohan will definitely make it happen, man. 100%. But yeah, listen, before we get off here, I'll do my shout outs at first. I'll leave the floor to Rohan here in a second. I'd just like to say thanks for everybody. I love all you guys and girls for watching and all the love and support, man. It's such an honor. It means so much to me. You guys don't even know, but thank you. Genuinely, thank you guys. If you guys not have had a chance yet, please go to my Spotify, my Podbean, my YouTube channel, hit that like and subscribe. For some reason, I went on my Spotify today. It's only showing I have 98 episodes, but I really have over 200 podcasts that I've done. Right. And I don't know why Spotify's not, I uploaded a bunch more and like, it just says 98. I don't know what the deal is. I got to figure that out. But if you go to my Podbean, go to Pin to Gas, over all my 200 episodes are on there. So you guys can go there and watch them and all that good stuff. Listen, big shout out to everybody that watched the podcast today. Thank you guys and girls so much. I love every single one of y'all. I mean what I said today. I hope your Saturday is full of happiness, proper mega wheelies, road racing, and nothing but family time, right? Big shout out to Next Level Financial, Bison. You guys need to go to bisontrack.com. Get that full custom suit started. My RD Racing, which is my team out there, not my team, but my friend's team, RD Racing out there in the UK. His son Jake races for him. They're absolutely amazing people. Flying Eyes Optics. You guys can go to Flying Eyes Optics. Get 10% off. Use the discount code PIN2GAS10. Dude, these things are the lightest sunglasses I've ever had. Dude, look at these arms on these things. These are made to wear underneath your motorcycle helmet because, okay. And dude, you don't even feel them that you have them on underneath your helmet, right? You know, you got Oakleys with the side, you know, the hard arms on them like this. When you have them underneath your helmet, man, it creates pressure points and your head get headaches and all this, right? These right here, nothing. They have aviators, which these are. They have all kinds of different styles and customs. You can also get them prescription. They are so light. I'm surprised I still have them because my wife's friend, she's always freaking stealing them from me. And I got to steal my own stuff back, right? But anyway, Chef Eats. You guys hear me and Rohan talk about it. Me talk about it all the time. ChefEats.com. I don't know why you guys have not ordered yet. Place your order. Okay. Next Level Financial, already said that. SFL Mini GP. Which is, to me, is Jersey and Florida best programs we have in America for our future legends of our sport coming up. That's where all the kids are coming through now. And to Moto America and everywhere else. Vet2 Track. Any of my veterans out there, Jim runs an amazing program. His motto is beating PSTD one lap at a time. So he brings you out there around the racetrack and puts you, dude, it's such an amazing program. So any of my military friends out there are interested in that, go to vet2track.com. Big shout out to Ghetto Customs. Anybody out there that wants the best bodywork made, ghettocustoms.com. Chris Parrish, man, he freaking knocks it out the park every time. 64 Degree Racing, big shout out to him. Tate, it's my favorite two-piece undersuit. He sent me a custom undersuit, Rohan, and I'm absolutely in love with it. It is, and I got a lot of undersuits, but this one right here is freaking amazing. I love it. So if you guys or girls are in the market, 64 Degree Racing. Last but not least, before I give the floor over to Rohan, the Clothing Kings. My man Martin Adams out there in the UK. You guys can go to clothingkings.co.uk and get all your Pin to Gas podcast merch out there in the UK. And listen, I love every single one of you guys and girls. Thank you so much. Rohan, the floor is all yours.
Man, you got a lot of sponsors, man. Hand over something my way, right? No, so I'm gonna shout out a few of my sponsors. Plus Racing Suits. They've given me some great suits. KWS Motorsports. Mike Godin's always hooking it up. And if if you guys need any bike stuff, bike help, tuning wise, or just track wise, track setup, race setups, he's the man. Affordable Moto, Rafael Pacheco. Rafa's always helping people out. So Rafael Pacheco, look him up on Facebook, or look up Affordable Moto out of Dalton, Georgia. And Grig Racing. Now, they're not direct sponsors, but man, they've helped me out so much on the track with stuff, with tips, with tricks, torque specs that help that they've got specifically from Grig Racing. So shout them out. They're gonna have a phenomenal season next year. And if you guys, want to look up some cool videos or whatever of just like some Southeast tracks, check out my page on YouTube, Cheetah740, and on Instagram too. Same thing.
Rohan, what's the next racetrack you're going to be at?
We're going to be at Barber, GNF.
There you go. So anybody going out there, I wish I could make it this year, but I will make Barber next year. But if you guys and girls are going out there, make sure you stop by and show nothing but love and support for Rohan, okay? But listen, ladies and gentlemen, this episode will be out on Spotify and everywhere tomorrow. I appreciate all the love and support. Nothing but love and support back to every single one of you. Enjoy the rest of your evening with your family. Enjoy your Sunday tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been an absolute honor to have the legend himself, Rohan Sid, on Pin the Gas Podcast. Stay tuned for part 2.
Appreciate it, Mr. Simcoe. Thank you so much.
The honor is all mine, baby. All right. So let me end this.